What is good, Bit Rushers? It's Kyler. Today, we're on the countdown to the halving. Alright, so the Bitcoin halving, only 4 days, 14 hours, and 33 minutes by my calculation. Actually, by BitcoinBlockHalf.com's calculation. You guys can see that we're getting close. We're right down to the final stretch here. A few days, and the price action's pumping. If you haven't seen the price lately, it's cranking up there. Over 9,000. You see, we topped out around 94 here a couple times, but hovering right around 93, 92, 93, looking good. So for any of you guys who saw my last video, I actually made a price prediction that the price would be about $10,000 at the halving, and here we are now, only 4 days out, and the price is about 9,300 bucks. So I'm pretty close. I'd say that, you know, if I get within 500 bucks, I'm going to count that as a win. So, you know, if we can get over 95 the next couple days, which I think will definitely happen, I think I'm going to be right on the money on that prediction. So, hey, you know. But yeah, guys, so we do have a contest coming. I just wanted to remind everyone real quick here that if you leave your Bitcoin address in the comments, I'm going to pick 3 lucky winners for the Bitcoin halving. I'm going to drop some random amounts of Satoshi in 3 lucky winners, and I'm going to do a drawing on air. I don't know if I'm going to do a live event because I haven't done any of those yet, but I might do a live event, or I might just record it and record me picking. But 3 lucky people are going to win, so go ahead and comment this video, any of my other videos in the next 4 days, or any of my videos back to about the middle of April. I started this contest, so if you want to enter multiple times, go ahead and leave your Bitcoin address in the comments of each video. Each one is 1 entry. Let's just talk about the Bitcoin halving real quick. For anyone that isn't super familiar with what Bitcoin halving is, it's that the supply of new Bitcoin is going to be cut in half. It's the amount of reward of Bitcoin that a miner earns from hitting a block reward. So they're using their computers to solve advanced mathematical equations. The one that solves the equation first gets the reward of the Bitcoin reward, block reward. And so right now it's 12.5 coins, and in just a few days that reward will cut down to 625. So really this is more of a supply and demand thing. As far as speculative traders, you know, people using it for retail purposes, it's not going to have much effect on our everyday lives, other than how the miners react. So I always tell people this is that, you know, it only affects us in the way that it affects the miners. So however it affects the miners, it's going to affect us, because they kind of control the supply. And you know, if they decide to hold, or if they decide to sell, all that's kind of on them. And so in a few days here, it's going to become a whole lot less profitable to mine. For all these miners, some of them have millions of dollars invested, and now all of a sudden, you know, the amount of earnings, the amount of profit they're getting is just cut in half. And so this is what is going to be the catalyst for the movement of the price, supposedly. And just to cover past Bitcoin halvings, in the past, a run-up to the halving or slightly after has been, you know, a good bull run, but the actual halvings in the past have been typically non-events where the price hasn't had much movement. And sometimes they've even dipped off because they've had a little bit of bull run up to the halving with the hype, and then people sell off and try to make their money, and it dips down a little bit. And typically you won't see a real good increase in the actual price of the Bitcoin for 3 to 6 months after. So I just want to put that out there for you guys. You never know what's going to happen, you know, and we're going to go over a couple of those things today. But before we do, if you have seen one of my past videos, Paid with Crypto, I went and I bought some really cool artwork, some Bitcoin halving themed artwork that actually is a wallet that can contain Bitcoin in itself. So it's really cool. It's a piece of artwork about the Bitcoin halving, and it actually contains a wallet address to hold some Bitcoin. So I'll go ahead and do a little screenshot of that for you guys here. I got the art real quick after I ordered. It was like 2 days later, 3 days later. Really great stuff. Looks much better in person, so I show you guys those clips here. Alright guys, so I hope you like that artwork, and if you want, I'll leave a link in the description. You guys can pick some of that Bitcoin art up as well. Now I want to talk about inflation and how it relates to how it's going to relate to the halving. So it's interesting that if you look, basically at the money supply here in the U.S., it's slowly going up here. We have the quantum easing, and it's a slow, gradual increase. And you see right here in 2020, it just peaks up. If we go to the 1 year, you can see it's a huge jump here. We're gradual, and then just boom, 2020. And it's really a straight up at this point. The quantum easing was already kind of getting out of control, and we were just mass printing our fiat currency. But now with these stimulus checks, and they're talking about printing another $2,000 a month for each family in the U.S., which if they do, awesome. I'll use that money and put it into Bitcoin. But as far as the economy is concerned, it's going to lead to really massive hyperinflation, and I think we're not seeing that yet because a lot of people are still stuck in their house, which is why obviously they're doing this inflation to keep people spending, keep people safe and happy and healthy and whatnot. So in terms of like health and the overall safety of our nation and things like that, I think it's a good idea. We need to get through this pandemic, and we need people to survive. We can't have half our population die of hunger, something like that, because they lost their jobs. So, I definitely see a need for the printing. But at the same time, there's going to be consequences for it. So as someone who's, living in this situation, you have to make the best of it and try to do what you can to come out on top. And for me, just looking at the inflation, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look healthy for us. It doesn't look good for the value of the dollar, and which is just more reason to put your money into Bitcoin. Not financial advice by any means, but just looking at it as fiat, they're just going to continue to print, and the Bitcoin is actually the exact opposite. So, we're getting inflation with the USD. Bitcoin is uninflating. I'm not sure what the opposite word for deflation. I'm not sure if that's the correct term for the financial version of that. But yeah, so Bitcoin is deflating and the USD is inflating. So just with those two things, if nothing else happened, potentially within a few years the price of Bitcoin is going to go up just because of that, because of supply and demand. That there's a whole lot less available, and there's a whole ton of money available. So what would you rather have? Something that's worth a whole lot less, or something that's worth more? So even if the price of Bitcoin isn't necessarily increasing a whole lot, I think over the next several years, we'll say 5 years, it's going to be a good hedge just against inflation. And then in addition, I do think the price is going up here. We're almost back to where we were, before the drop. So yeah, right at the beginning of March. Yeah, actually we're over that. We were about 8,900 before the pandemic here. And so now we've completely made up all of those gains, and I feel like we're back to where we would have been if we didn't have the pandemic. So I think the price is really great. It's pumping up. Everybody's making money. If we go back to the first one, we'll go to the volume here. You can see volume is steadily increasing. I've been seeing a bunch of stuff that Bitcoin searches are at an all-time high for people searching for Bitcoin, how to buy Bitcoin. So people are definitely interested. Like I said in the past, it's been a non-event. There hasn't been a whole lot that happens on the actual day, but where we just in our economy and everything, I think we might see a little bit of action in a pump. And again, I'm sticking to my price, about $10,000 at the halving. I think after Bitcoin halves, you'll never see prices that low again. We may drop down to maybe like a 6 or 7, slight correction at some point, maybe in the next couple months. And I think after that, I think there'll be one more good low. I think, we'll come up and then we'll drop down a little bit here. We'll see another low, maybe around 5 or 6. And I think after that, it will never go that low ever again. That's my prediction. I think it's going to stay north of $10,000 from here on out, moving up probably to 15 or 20 by this time next year. Within a year, I see Bitcoin being at about, somewhere in the 15 range, possibly over 20,000. What do you guys think? I'm curious to see what other people think out there. What are your price predictions? If you want, with your wallet address for Bitcoin, go ahead and leave your price prediction for this time next year. What do you think Bitcoin's price will be this time next year? But yeah, guys, I'm really excited for the Bitcoin halving. I hope you guys are excited. I hope you guys have a good position. You've got your Bitcoin in order. And you're ready and you're excited. It's going to be a fun event, and I think looking back in a few years, this will be one of those things that was kind of a turning point in our economy from fiat currency to digital. This Bitcoin halving, and at the same time as the pandemic and the mass stimulus printing in the U.S., I just really feel like we're in like a crucial, pivotal time that when we look back, we're going to say like, wow, what happened here? So, I don't know exactly, where it's going to go or how it's going to go, but you heard my predictions. I think 10K for the halving. This time next year, 15 to 20. Never see, a price below 7,000 again on Bitcoin. That's it for me, guys. Go ahead and leave your price predictions. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Click that bell and for notifications on the subscribe. YouTube's doing a bunch of shadow banning, especially on cryptocurrency and Bitcoin channels. So if you guys enjoy my content, please do subscribe. Share with all your friends. And happy mining. Let's get that coin.